Today, in Vrindavan Dham, we are observing Kamika Ekadasi. There are unlimited glories of Ekadashi Devi. However much you explain the glories of Ekadashi, just as Bhagavan is unlimited, so his pastimes are unlimited, and Ekadashi Devi and her glories are also boundless. Karmis and Gyanis observe Ekadashi according to their own perception. Gyanis, through the influence of their Gyan. If they are Mukta, then they see from the perception of their liberated state. Bhaktas, however, they follow Ekadashi to achieve pure devotion, Shuddha Bhakti, and they worship the Lord and His followers and associates. This is Tadiya and Madhya. Tadiya is the Lord Himself, and Madhya is those who are His objects of love. Shiv Thakur states, Aradhananam Sarvesham Vishnu Aradhanam Param Tasmat Parataram Devi Tharyanam Samarchanam. That to worship the Lord's Tadiya, or those who are His own, His associates, His dearly beloveds, that is even greater than the worship of God Himself, and by doing so one becomes in the category of Madhya, or God's own very dear associate as well. If one observes Ekadashi properly, serves the Vaishnavas, these activities give rise to devotion. If we desire to achieve bhakti, then we should observe bhakti properly. So today, Ekadashi is called Kamika Ekadashi. If we properly follow this, or if we want to properly follow, we should go first to Srila Rupa Goswami. Take shelter of Srila Rupa Goswami, become a Rupanuga. Otherwise, we will not be able to understand the real Swarup of Ekadashi. We are ignorant. Those people are ignorant who, through their own knowledge, they want to control or understand Bhakti Devi. They are very proud and very arrogant and almost like atheists who they cheat people in this world about Ekadashi Tattva, because until they have realization and Sambandha Gyan, until they have taken shelter of the Guru Varga, they misunderstand things, they see according to their wrong ideas, their misperception, and therefore they spread the glories or the false glories, and in this way they cheat others. Until we get real Sambandha Gyan and realization under guidance, then we cannot understand the true glories of Ekadashi, what to speak of preaching them. Rupa Goswami states, if you desire to achieve pure devotion, first of all, Anya Abhilashitam is required. You must observe this verse, Anya Abhilashita Shunyam Gyana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulyena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhaktir Uttama. This is the Tatashta Lakshan, the first two lines, Anyabhilasta Shunyam Jnana Karimadi Anavritam. These are the extrinsic characteristics. The intrinsic characteristics are Anukulyena Krishnanu Shilanam, then Bhaktir Uttama, the highest devotion can be achieved. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami tells to Parikshit Maharaj, O King, Parikshit, listen. Sarvabhadi Vinirmuktam Tat Paratvena Nirmilam Rishikena Hrishikesha Seva Mukta Bhaktir Uchate. The definition of devotion is given in the Bhagavatam, that the service of the Supreme Lord, who is the master of the senses, through one's own senses, devoid of all material designations. In this way, that kind of pure service, that is bhakti or devotion. So, the Lord, He is Rishikesh, He has 11 transcendental senses. And to serve the Lord through our own transcendental senses, that is bhakti, devoid of all material identifications and designations. So we can achieve that state by performing Ekadashi. By performing Ekadashi, then we can learn how to serve the Lord Ekadasi, or 11 senses, which are transcendental. So Ekadasi Devi, she is also present in the transcendental world. Srila Rupa Goswami is present in Braj as Srila Rupa Manjari. If you want to achieve pure devotion, first you must follow Anya Bilas, become devoid of all ulterior desires, separate from Krishna. We are filled with so many material desires. We have so many desires. Because of these, we are separate from God. Because of what is independence? The misuse of our independence. Because of this, we are separate from Vaishnavas. We are separate from Guru. We are separate from Krishna. We have these independent desires. Gurudev would say, we can give up everything, but we cannot give up the desire for prestige, respect, position. This is the most dangerous obstacle, and this is the greatest kind of duplicity, hypocrisy we must overcome. So this is cool or very bad. We do not want to understand this. We do not want to understand what is nishedh or worthy to be rejected and what should be observed. So we have these ulterior desires. One thing is anyabilas and one is anyabilasita. Sometimes in extreme circumstances we may be under great affliction and we pray to God, please protect me. In this way we try to engage God in our direct service. But this may be done occasionally under extreme plight, and it is not so bad, but we should not make this a habit. Whenever we have any little trouble, we pray to God for the relief of our troubles. In this way, we should not try to make the Lord our servant, like the Lord becomes our devotee. Instead, we are supposed to be the Lord's servant. So we should endeavor to offer ourselves in the Lord's service. That is the tendency of devotion. Instead, we should not develop this anyabilasita, which is so many material desires, and when we have any trouble fulfilling our desires, then we will pray to God to protect us or to fulfill those for us. This is anyabilasita. It is described dharma, artha, kama, samapratikshan. Mukti Devi, the goddess of liberation, is standing behind us, waiting to give us liberation. But the devotees say, Diyamanam na grinanti vinamat sevanam yata. I do not want liberation. O Lord, without your service, I do not want anything else. I do not even want liberation. I do not desire dharma, artha, kama, moksha. These are all waiting behind us. If we are really devotees, they are waiting to grant their favors to us. But the devotees do not desire these things. The devotees have no independent desires aside from the loving service of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. So, until we can remove these material desires from our hearts, and until our hearts become pure, then we cannot really enter the realm of pure devotion. What should our desire be? Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. The real pure desire of the living entity is to eternally desire to serve continuously. Anu means continuous. Anu also means favorable, according that is in a way that is pleasing to Sri Krishna. Commentary is given that the Lord was fighting with Chanur and Mustika in the arena, wrestling arena of Lord Kamsa. Krishna was feeling so much pleasure in this wrestling. However, Chanur and Mustika had no favorable mood towards Krishna. They only had enmity and desire to kill him. So even though Krishna was pleased by this, this was not anukul. On the other hand, Krishna was crying and he came into the lap of Yashoda Mata. In the morning he woke up, his throat was dry, he desired to drink the breast milk of Yashoda. He got out of the bed and could not find his mother, so he went and searched for her in the dark, crying and weeping. He searched for his mother. And finally he found her churning the yogurt while singing. So calling out, "Mother, mother," still she did not listen. He pulled on her skirt. She was churning the yogurt and it was making loud sounds of churning, and she was singing as well. So she could not hear Krishna singing like this or calling out to her, "Mother, mother." So he caught skirt, and then she saw him standing there and he was crying, so she saw this. Then She picked him up and began to give him her breast milk. She was thinking about him and meditating on his pastimes and performing his kirtan. So when he came before her, she embraced him and began to give him her breast milk. With Krishna was drinking from one breast and at the same time holding on to her other breast. Why? This is the nature of a child or infant. He knew. Now, mother is very restless. She was thinking of doing other things. She was thinking that everyone was complaining for many days to Krishna about Krishna to her. So she thought perhaps Krishna is going to steal butter from other houses because the butter that is made here by the different servants is sour. So I will make the butter myself and then feed Krishna. Then he will not need to feel the need to go and steal butter from other houses. So she had taken this determination. But Krishna was thinking, how much will my mother do? She was milking the cows, then she boiled the milk and turned it into yogurt, and then she was turning the yogurt to make it into butter. In this way, she was very busy. Then what time would she have for him? So Krishna thought, I want her for myself. So he was drinking from one breast and holding the other. At that time, how much milk would he drink? Because the milk is the embodiment of her Vatsalya Prem, her motherly love for Krishna, and it is unlimited like a boundless and depthless ocean. However, at that time, the milk that was on the stove began to boil over, thinking that, I will not have any chance to serve Sri Krishna. So she immediately took Krishna down and sat him down and then went to save the milk. So is this bhakti? Is this devotion? Krishna was actually displeased by this. So is this anukul or favorable? So Yashoda had no anyabhilas, other desire. The milk was only for serving Krishna. She thought that from my breast milk I cannot make rasgullas, I cannot make sandesh, I cannot make burfi and laddus, I cannot make ghee, and also I know Krishna will not be satisfied just by my breast milk. So therefore, what will I give him? I cannot make all these different milk preparations from my breast milk. Therefore, she had a pure desire like this. So sometimes there's ativyapti dosh. Krishna says, Bhukti mukti diya jaan palaya, Krishna bhakti na dhin rakin lukaya. That for some people he does not give them bhakti, he will give them bhukti and mukti, sense gratification and liberation, but he will not give them the real fruit. If we perform Kamada Ekadasi with other desires, what will happen? Anya kami jadi kori Krishna bhajan bahut. Our hearts are filled with mountains and hills with material desires. We cannot live without these material desires. Even while we chant Harinam, we do our mantras, our desires are only increasing and boiling in our hearts. Look, try to perform Anukul Anusilan, favorable engagement for pure devotion, but it is very difficult for us. So this Ekadasi or Kamada Ekadasi is to uproot these material desires from the root. Therefore she appeared. Why? Every time she comes, she brings some special medicine to give the jivas. Until this is destroyed by the root, until our material desires are destroyed at the root, then still we will, even in the performance of so-called devotional service, we will become lost in anyabhilas, ulterior desires. We try, but still we cannot give these things up. So listen, there's history about this. One time, Sri Krishna, he said, how long will you stay in the palace? And how long will you like this? We will wander in the forest. He told this to Arjuna. So they went out with their chariot. Krishna was not the charioteer at this time. Arjuna became the charioteer. Generally, Krishna is described to be Partha Sarathi. He is in Krishna is not the name. Partha is Arjuna's name. So Sarathi means the charioteer. So Partha Sarathi means Krishna is the charioteer of Arjuna. This was in the battle of Kurukshetra or Mahabharat. Arjuna's name is Partha because he is in the line of Prita or Prithu. So where Krishna is the charioteer of Partha, that is only in the battlefield. Why? At that time, Arjuna needed someone to properly guide him. But on this occasion, Krishna told Arjuna, how long will you stay in the royal palace? Let's go out in the forest. So at that time, they had such intimate friendship that they would rest on the same bed, and Krishna's feet would be on one side and Arjuna's on the other. Krishna's head would be at Arjuna's feet and Arjuna's head at Krishna's feet. They had such intimate friendship. They would eat on the same plate. So today, Arjuna became Krishna's charioteer, and they began wandering in the forest. They went into such a deep forest. It was a very beautiful area, very effulgent. So seeing that, Krishna was very happy. He told Arjuna, do you like this place? Arjuna said, oh Lord, by your mercy, you have brought me to this wonderful place. Then Krishna said, oh, I'm very thirsty now, so I will sit under this tree for some time, and please go and find me some nice water from some river or stream or pond. There are many fruits and other things, but I'm very thirsty. We did not bring anything, so please go at least and find some water for me. So at that time Arjuna said, okay, I'm going quickly. So Arjuna left and began to search for water. This way he went searching in the forests and jungles. You cannot find water everywhere, and you cannot take from any random puddle. You have to take from some clean lake or river or in some ashram of sages. Then you can find pure water. They know how to collect the pure water. What do they do when it rains? They keep out cloths, or when there's dew in the morning, they keep the cloth out and they take the clean cloth and squeeze out the water. In this way, they use the dew water. When there are rains, then they collect water from by putting all like lotus petals together and collecting the water like this into pots. I would do this before in the villages of Navadvip as a boy. So Arjuna found the ashram of a sage, and he thought, I will get water there. But he saw the sage was performing some strange activity. He had a sword that he was sharpening, and he had a bow and arrow that he was also sharpening with the whetstone. So in this way he was making arrowheads, sharpening them, and also sharpening the sword. And he was a very fierce looking sage. So Arjuna became not afraid, but a little bit astonished that why is he acting like this as a sadhu? He is dressed like a sadhu, but he's very strong and powerful looking, and he looks very fierce and aggressive. So he asked the sage, why are you acting like a Kshatriya? You have dressed in the attire of a sadhu, so why are you using these swords and bows? That is not necessary for a sadhu, it is for a Kshatriya. And the sage said, who are you to ask me such questions? Who do you think you are? So Arjuna said, okay, anyhow, please tell me what is the utility for your sword and your bow and arrow. What are you going to use it for? That time the sage said, look, you want to hear? Okay, I will tell you. This bow and arrow, if I find Arjuna once, I will take off his head with one arrow. Then, he will be completely destroyed. Oh, and with this sword, if I ever find that Draupadi, I will cut off her head. Why are you saying like this? So Arjuna, he could not even say anything. He lost all his strength. It was like all the blood drained out of his body, and he sat down, like practically senseless. In the meantime, Krishna was thinking, where is my friend gone? So he got up searching for his friend, because Arjuna did not come back for a long time. So finally he came to the same ashram, and he saw Arjuna sitting stunned on the ground. So Krishna said, what's happened? The sage said, I don't know, this Kshatriya came and he asked me about why I'm sharpening the sword and the bow and arrow. And when he heard, then he sat down like stunned. I told him honestly when he asked, what is the problem? Arjuna was still sitting, stunned. So what fault did Arjuna have, or Draupadi? Krishna asked. What was Arjuna's fault? He said, "Oh, my Supreme Parameshwar, beloved Lord," he told him to massage the horses, to feed them grass, to give them water, he would say, "Take my chariot there, take my chariot there, take it over there." Are you the servant of the Lord, or you are trying to make the Lord into your servant? You are making the Lord feed your horses grass and massaging your horses' backs and hooves and caring for them. You are engaging him in the menial work of a charioteer. And what did Draupadi do wrong then? Krishna asked. Oh, she took birth naked, and we will all die and go leave our bodies like this, naked. But just because of our desire for our own honor, we make the Lord serve us. She made the Lord appear as her own cloth, just because of her own attachment to her body. And the Lord, he had to go quickly there and become her cloth. So at that time, where did your shame go? You made God become your own cloth, and you wrapped your body in that cloth. So you are always engaging the Lord in your service. Whenever you need him, you call him. He cannot sleep, eat, or do anything. Whenever you need anything from God, you're always calling him for your help. So because of this, in the name of doing service, in the name of becoming a devotee, you are trying to make the God into your slave and servant. What kind of devotee are you then? Now Arjuna lost all his strength. He could not even stand up. Anyakami jadi kari Krishna bhajan Krishna tare. If we worship Krishna with so many material desires, then it is said akamo sarva kamo va moksha kamo dharadi, that Krishna will fulfill these by performing his bhajan. If you have desires or no desires, if you worship the Lord with great strength, great attachment, great absorption, then Krishna will fulfill these. So Ekadasi Devi teaches on this day, as long as we have these material desires, then what will we gain by these things? When will these be vanquished? As long as we have these, until we have vanquished them or destroyed them or taken them out of our hearts, we cannot become a real insan or upright human or person. When someone has proper knowledge, then they become a manushya, a real human being. Otherwise, they're an animal only. A human being in name only, but in reality, they're just like an animal. So Krishna told the sage, "Oh Maharaj, how will Arjuna and Draupadi lose these desires? You have left everything, and you have offered your life to Lord's service, and you are engaging to please the Lord. But tell, what can people do to get rid of all types of desires, including the desire to engage God in your service? To become a sadhu is easy, but swad, or the desire to taste material life, does not leave easily. In Madhuri Kadambini, our Chakravarti Thakur states that we may be chanting, but so many different stages will pass through. And we have to cross through all these stages of purification in our sadhana. We chant and we think, oh, I want to get this fruit, I like these sweets, and I want these tasty things. We do Ekadasi Vrat, and we may go in the market and smell kachoris cooking in ghee and other things, and we become lusty for them. We see malpua, so many things. And by smelling these things, it is described to be like half of eating. And also, we are always thinking of enjoyment. So how is this pure Ekadashi? This is Hari Vasar, the day of Lord Hari, and we may make Chapana Bhog for Sri Hari, 56 preparations, but this is not for ourselves. This is all for Sri Krishna. Today, we should not have any mood of personal enjoyment. We should try to completely sacrifice ourselves this day for the Lord's service. The sages The sage said they have not followed pure Ekadasi and associated with pure Shuddha Bhaktas. So how will they perform bhajan and bhakti? How will they do anything for the Lord's pleasure in a favorable mood without any material or personal motivations? If they have desires, but they perform bhakti properly, then gradually they can be liberated and achieve pure bhakti. But if they are always praying for the fulfillment of their desires while doing bhajan, then they cannot achieve Shuddha Bhakti. So we do Bhagavad Bhajan and then we take things from him and then we experience so much suffering as a result. We do not understand or want to understand the cause of this. So the Lord wanted to teach this. If we have Anya Abhilas, we have not gotten rid of our Anya Abhilas and Anya Abhilasita, then we will not lose the tendency for Gyan and Karma, and the Bhakti will remain covered by Karma and Gyan. And this makes us so proud. Gyan and Karma both make us very proud, and it makes us maddened in society. There are so many kinds of karmis, tamasic and rajasic and sattvic karmis. Fruitive workers who are nishkam are also there. But to find a nirgun bhakta is extremely rare. Someone who is on the transcendental platform above the modes of nature. So Krishna therefore asked this sage how to become pure. The sage described that without sadhu sangha, without saintly association, we cannot become purified. We cannot receive the true mercy of Hari. Also, without Hari's mercy, we will not enter satsanga. And without satsanga, we will not develop pure intelligence. We will not understand what I am doing wrong, that I am going into the ditch of Maya. We cannot understand that. Therefore, we are observing this Kamika Ekadasi. She states that I must help, my service is to help free people of material desires, kamana. In Braj, the Braj Devis, they all went to Kamyavan. This place is also called Kamyavan. This forest is the forest of desires. That people who go with any kind of desires, that will be fulfilled there. In the Chaitanya Bhagavat it is stated by Mahaprabhu, people obtain knowledge, but for what end, for what gain? They give up bhajan of the Lord and instead start to worship themselves or other materialistic people. So we see this in this world. All the knowledge acquired and gained is all used in material pursuits. Kamyavan is such a place, however. There, in this forest of Braj, Kameshwar Mahadev is present. So Kameshwar Mahadevi thought, I've done so much kirtan, so much harikatha, I've done so much worship, so much tapasya. Still, there are kamanas. Even though Shiv Thakur is free of all things, but he still thought, I have not given up all these kamana, so the Lord has not given me mercy. So I've come to Braj, and I desire the mercy of the Lord in relation with the Lord. So what was his desire? He thought, I want to gain the mercy of the Brajadevis. Therefore, what did he do? In Mathura he came and became Bhuteshwar. In Govardhan he is Chakleshwar. In Kamyavan he is Kameshwar. And in Vrindavan he is Gopishwar. He appeared in 4 features in 4 areas of Braj Mandal. First he came to Mathura, and for many days he was in Mathura as Bhuteshwar. Then gradually he went from there to Govardhan and became Chakleshwar. From there he went forward into Kamyavan and became Kameshwar. And from there he had darshan of the Lord's pastimes, but still was not satisfied. He desired to serve the Lord directly. And he thought, I have done so much austerity, so much meditation, so much worship. I've been absorbed in so much meditation and performed so much Harikatha and Kirtan. I've done so many things. However, I've still not gained the qualification to directly serve the Lord and to be eternally engaged in the Lord's service. Only the gopis have such eligibility. Only the manjaris have this. So I must take shelter of them and receive their mercy. How can I do that? In this way, he became absorbed and meditated on this. In due course, he saw Lord Brahma. He appeared as Brahma Parvat, and his four heads became Mangad, Dangad, Bangad, and Vilasgad, where Radharani would play with her Sakhis and Manjaris. In this way, he received the foot dust of Srimati Radhika on his heads. His heads became the pastime places of Srimati Radhika and her Sakhis. So he thought, now also I desire to take a position where I can get the Lord's foot dust on my heads. He had gone to have darshan of the Lord in Vaikuntha, but he did not get any chance to serve the Lord there. He became a yogi. Then he came to Nandagram when Krishna appeared, and he tried to serve there, and finally he got darshan of Krishna. Then he told Yashoda, that I will stay nearby and give me a chance to serve. If Krishna ever has any black eye or any problem, then I will do some worship or some yajna. But still, no one would come and give him that service. So at that time, he thought, how can I get the Lord's service? So the gopis at Bhojan Tali, they arrange for Krishna's meals there, and they also go and bathe in the different lakes. They make sweet rice kheer and fill different ponds in areas, and they feed Krishna and all the sakas in the forest. So there are many pastimes there. Still, Shiv Thakur desired that I want to serve. I want to get the chance and the tendency to serve directly Shri Krishna. And by the mercy of the Brajadevis, he became Nandishwar Parvat, the hill on the top of which is Nanda Maharaja's palace. And in this way he got the foot dust of Krishna, Nanda, Jashoda, all their family, also Radhika and all the gopis when they would come to cook. So he had that exalted position granted by the mercy of the Brajadevis. So, before in Daksha's Yagya, he would not give any part for Shiv Thakur. So, Shiv Thakur as Nandishwar Parvat, he would make sure that there was no lacking of anything, of any kinds of produce or anything, like any type of preparations or facilities for Krishna service. When Krishna would go grazing the cows, Yashoda Mata would be lamenting in separation, not able to tolerate the separation of Krishna. The Sakas left. Then Nandishwar, that Shiv Thakur, he would be in Nandagram, and he would be engaged in all varieties of service there. Everyone is there for festivals, and when Krishna is there, this is the nature in this world. We see people, Guru is there, then everyone is there. Vaishnava is there, then everyone is there. But Vaishnava or Guru is not there, then no one is there. So Shiv Thakur would always engage in all kinds of services in different forms. He would clean the Lord's abodes, the kitchens, the resting rooms, and fulfill all kinds of lackings. And with great enthusiasm, while singing and hearing kirtan, he would serve with Chitrak, Patrak, and the other devotees in Dasya Ras, preparing everything for Krishna's service. Shiv Thakur he would tell everyone, don't worry, I am with you. That for Krishna's service he had desire. So that person who has desire for Krishna's service, he will never lose, or he will never be lost. They will never be cheated or lose hope. Those who serve Krishna will never lose, and they will never become impoverished or suffering. So Shiv Thakur serves as in Nandagram and is present there as Nandishwar Parvat. And he also serves in any kind, if there's ever any lack there. Raghunath Goswami states, Vrindavani Vrindavana Vanipte Jaya Soma Somni Sanakasanandana Snatana Nadadya Gopishwara Brajavilasi Yugangripad Me Prema Priyach Nirpali Namo Namaste. That Shiv Thakur performed bhajan in Kamyavan, and what was his desire? Only the desire to serve. That is our proper desire that we should cultivate. So how we can develop the taste and desire and eagerness or greed for transcendental service? How can we receive that? That is coming only from Aladini Shakti Srimati Radhika, the pleasure potency of the Lord, and the embodiment of all Kriya, action, active potency and seva. This type of tendency does not come to everyone. It comes to those who have this pure desire and greed for Krishna's seva. Then Srimati Radhika will bestow this if we are under proper guidance with the proper mood. So to develop this desire for service, how is that? Rupa Goswami states, Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. Not like the service of Sal, Tusal, Chanur, Mustika. And we should also not try to take the position of Jashoda Mata. We should remain in a humble position. Our Pujapad Janardhan Goswami Maharaj, when he would give Harikatha, he was Rasik Chudadamani, the crest jewel of Rasik devotees. He would say, Madhava Jai, Madhava Jai, Madhava Kaita Bhavadam. Oh, Cheater Madhav, leave here. Do not come into our kunj. Do not enter. Do not look here even. Go ahead. Go further. Go along. Don't come to our kunj. You have no eligibility to enter into our kunj. My Swamini has forbidden it. How much strength the Manjaris have. They can even send away Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality, and forbid him entrance into Radhika's kunj. Krishna is so eager to see Srimati Radhika. He is only praying, wants to have her audience, but still he cannot receive that without the permission of the Manjaris. So the desires in the transcendental world are completely pure, and they are only connected to transcendental service. It is stated, if someone in the four ashrams in Vashram Dharma do not serve the Lord, then ultimately everyone will fall down to a hellish condition. Therefore, we should give up everything and perform one-pointed service of the Lord in bhakti. We cannot become surrendered or enter real bhakti. Why? Because Sharanagati or surrender is the doorway to bhakti, and without surrendering all these things, we cannot really enter bhakti. Then we cannot transcend our material desires, and life after life will be wasted. Therefore, Kamika Ekadasi Devi teaches us to try to be established in our transcendental activities, transcendental mentality and service and understanding in the path of Braja Bhakti. So by properly performing this Ekadasi, this develops the foundation for Braja Bhakti. If we take shelter of Kamika Ekadasi Devi, then she will state, oh, you have nothing to worry about now. I will protect you from material desires. I will connect you to the transcendental world and give you spiritual desires, spiritual kamana. I will teach you what is favorable and what is unfavorable, and I will look after you completely. I will show you what is forbidden and what is meant to be followed. The considerations of bhakti are very subtle. Therefore, sometimes we may perform unfavorable activities and then be cheated of the real result. We may think that I will follow the manjaris, I will follow Gopi Bhav, but I do not know how to do so properly and I'm not under proper guidance, then this leads to a contrary result. Rupa Goswami states, Viharyasya harirdasya karmana manasa gira nikila svapya vastastu jivan mukta svauchyate. We can be liberated even while living in this body if we are engaging our mind, body and speech, everything in pure service. That a nitya bhada, conditioned person, and a nitya mukta, liberated person, they may externally look like the same while in this world. They are not. They are worlds apart. That person who is engaging his speech, his mind, and his senses all in the Lord's service, he is not actually present in this world. Even every breath he takes is only for the pleasure of Sri Hari and the service of Sri Hari. And he is liberated even while in this body. Everything he is doing, eating, sleeping, bathing, walking, anything that person does is only for the pleasure of Sri Hari and for the service of Sri Hari with a favorable mood, without any independent mood. There is no independent tendency contrary to the Lord's service. So, if we do not develop such a pure mentality, then we are still contaminated or remnants. Whatever we have is contrary to devotion. Therefore it is said, Koti Janma Jadi Shravan Kirtan Tabutana Pai Krishna Pade Primidan. Even if for millions of lifetimes we are performing Nam, Kirtan, chanting and singing and hearing Katha, but still we do not develop bhakti, if we have not come into pure association of Vaishnavas, if we have not developed properly through sadhana, if we have not taken shelter of Ekadasi Devi, then all these activities are ultimately futile. So, what do other people say? Like false sadhus, what will they teach us? Oh, follow Ekadasi, whatever you want you will get. You'll get nice sons, you'll get nice daughters, you'll get so much money, you can become a king, you can become anything you like. Just follow Ekadasi and you can fulfill all your material desires. Most people preach Ekadasi like this: follow Ekadasi and you can fulfill all your material desires. So, if we associate with such persons, then how will we develop devotion? These are called bogus pandits. One time a boy went to the king's palace, a Brahmin boy said, "Oh, make me a pandit, I want to be respected as a pandit." He said, "Okay, go to school and you'll become a pandit in due course." He said, "No, I want to become a pandit just now, just in one day." So the king said, "I cannot do that." Then the minister came and said, "I can do it." He said, "Wear a very thick Brahmin thread, shave your head and leave a huge sika, wear a very large tilak and wear very thick beads around your neck, and then take a stick, take an asan and a big kamandulu, and I will make you a pandit very easily." So now he immediately did that. He shaved his head and then kept a sika that kept like half his head, and then put on big tilak, and then the minister said, "Now I will come with you into the different towns and villages, and everywhere you go I will say, 'Oh Pandit Maharaj, Jai Ho, all glories to you, oh Pandit, there is no Pandit so great as you.' So at that time you should start abusing me. Oh, your father, your mother, with bad language you should abuse my parents and everyone. And then after you go through a few different villages, everyone will start to glorify you. Oh Panditji, everyone will start to tease you like this. And then naturally you'll become famous everywhere as a great Pandit. Everyone will call you Panditji, 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 and you will be very happy." So he went into 3 or 4 villages, and in one day everyone would call him Panditji, Panditji. So he thought, "Oh, in one day, look, I became a Pandit." So this is called the Bonga Pandit, or a bogus Pandit. This is like the Smartas. They do not want to follow anything. They don't understand anything. They don't want to practice anything. And they teach all the wrong ideas. They cheat others. Agrahai mukte tabe sarva bandhanas tabe se huite pare Shri Krishna das. First, you must transcend your material desires. Then you can become Sri Hari's servant and enter real bhakti. Otherwise, you will not develop service tendency to Krishna or the real sentiment of devotion. You will engage all these high things into very low activities and services. This is the nature of these people who are cheating others and teaching, oh, follow Ekadasi only for the fulfillment of your material desires. So you should try to become niskinchan, akinchan, devoid of all material desires, fully possessionless of everything in this world, and take shelter of the lotus feet of the gopis. Then you can develop this manjali bhav. Otherwise, everything will be futile. What kind of tendency will you get? At that time, you will follow under proper guidance. We heard in the Ram Lila Katha how when Ramchandra went to Dandakaranya, the forest, he met with all the different sages who were chanting Gopal mantra since Satya Yuga, many thousands of years and thousands of years. They were chanting the Gopal mantra. So they saw Ram as a very beautiful Kishore, and they became bewildered and fell in love with him in this way. So they prayed to Lord Ram, please accept us. We have been chanting this mantra for so many long years. Now you have given us your darshan. Please accept us as your own. He said, now you must continue chanting for some days, for some time. Then you will take birth in Braj, in your next body. Until they met with Lord Ram, they did not become free of material bondage. And after they met with Ram, he gave them mukti and then gave them entrance into Braj. They took birth in Braj, in the wombs of gopis, and became gopis themselves. They took shelter of the manjalis, and they prayed for service. So then Ram said, I will come soon and I will accept you. And I will teach you how to become the servants of the gopis. Without the gopis' mercy, it is said, Gopi bhav vina napai Krishna ke, in Chaitanya Charitamrita very quickly has given a ban and written that if you want to achieve Krishna, you must take shelter of the gopis. That Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Godiache Koryachan Atmasat. That Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan, they accept those who have the Gaudiyas, those who follow Gauri Srimati Radhika. We should not think Gaudiyas are those just from Gaudadesh or Bengalis. Real Gaudiya means those who are following Gauri, the golden Srimati Radhika. Therefore it is written, Gopi Bhav Vina by Krishna. Without Gopi Bhav we cannot find or meet Sri Krishna. Shiv Thakur therefore gave up everything, even Parvati, even his consort, and he came to Braj and took shelter of Gopi Bhav and prayed only for that transcendental service with this transcendental desire. Until we are freed of our material desires, then we cannot enter the realm of bhakti. That is very far away. It is very, very far away. Krishna said, Kamo sava karma va mukta kamo dharadi tivrena bhakti yogana. If you have desire or no desire, if you have desire for mukti or anything else, still perform tivra bhakti or intense devotion, bhakti yoga. This bhakti yoga, what kind of bhakti is it? Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranite male. Vyastev. He meditated on the Lord and performed bhakti yoga. When we take shelter like this, then we will have darshan of the Supreme Personality Himself, along with His energies. Wherever the devotees are present, we should understand and meditate on the different ways in which they are serving the Lord with devotion. We must follow in their footsteps and take shelter of them. So where will you find the bhaktas? The greatest bhaktas are in Braj. Who are they? The Brajadevis. There is no one so dear to the Lord as the Brajadevis. Himself, Krishna said to Uddhava that, oh, no one is so dear to me as the gopis. Even my own self is not so dear to me as the gopis. My brother, Sankarshan, Uddhava, Lakshmi herself, no one is so dear to me as the gopis. So we should endeavor to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Brajadevis. We will have faith everywhere, but not faith in the feet of the gopis. And we also do not even like to hear about this. We hear the names of the manjaris and we become agitated. However, the Lord Himself glorifies the gopis. He came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu simply to glorify the gopis and to establish the glories of Manjari Bhav and to establish its supremacy. For this purpose He engaged the Goswamis and they composed so many books like Ujjwala Nilamani, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and Chakravarti Thakur's Kiran Kana, Bhagavad Mrita Kana. So through these books, by taking shelter of these these considerations, we can become free of anyabilash, and our bhakti will not be covered by gyan karma. However, if any seed of these material desires remains in our hearts, then they will sprout and burst out and destroy all our foundation of bhakti. So, therefore, we pray to the lotus feet of this Ekadasi Devi. Please help us enter the realm of pure devotion with Braja Bhakti, following in the footsteps of the Braja Devis. When Ekadasi liberates us from our material contaminations, then the building of pure devotion will start to be constructed. Then with the devotees we will become engaged in pure devotional activities, and in this way we will gradually develop Ekadash Bhavs, the 11 kinds of spiritual service paraphernalias. All the different ingredients of ras will combine: Satvik, Vyabhichari, Anubhav and Vibhav. What is ras? Ras means like not just water. If you take water, you take sugar and lemon and other things, then you can make some type of drink. This is like a ras. But what is the real ras? In bhakti, there are different ingredients that combine to create ras. There are the sattvic moods, the vyabhichari moods, the vibhav moods, and the anubhav. So what are these? We must need develop knowledge of all these things. Therefore, we should develop taste to read the Goswami's books. When we really receive Ekadasi Devi's mercy, that time we will have greed to understand all these teachings of the Goswamis. We will have greed to learn all the Bhagavad Vani, and we will understand this is all present in the scriptures. Then we will have taste to study these things. We will have taste to enter Paramartha, the transcendental truth. To enter that transcendental truth, we must take shelter of the considerations of the Goswamis. We must follow them and be established in them. And day and night we will pray. One Vaishnav once came to Braj, but he was illiterate. He came and he was very sad. Why? He could not read the books of the Goswamis. Nowadays they are translated in Hindi, Bengali, but in those days everything was in Sanskrit and this person was illiterate. So he wandered here and there, but he could not find the books of the Goswamis. Everyone everywhere was absorbed in Astakali Lila, Manjali Bhav, Upasana, and they were all absorbed in these things through the medium of taking shelter of the Goswami's books. They were all fully absorbed in blissful service. They would not waste even a minute. That, until we've developed the taste for bhakti, we'll waste time in gossiping, in wasting time in material engagements, in playing and joking. Day and night we will do this. But when we develop real taste, at that time, we will not want to waste even a moment. Then where's this world and the happenings of this world? We will not even understand or know these things. Then we are fully absorbed. So this person, when he came to Braj, he saw everyone was absorbed in studying the books of the Goswamis and in meditating and serving. That, he would see people are meditating, memorizing the verses of Vilap Kusumanjali, offering thousands of Dandavat pranams, chanting Harinam day and night. He thought, alas, my life is useless. I wasted my childhood. I did not learn how to read and write. Now, how can I do bhajan? I do not know anything. What will I pray if I cannot read and understand the books? That Ha Devi Kakupat, we easily have facility of learning all these verses. Gandharvike Nijaganai Gananam Videhi. We have easy access to all these things, but still we have no taste. Gandharvike Radhike, please count me amidst your own intimate group. I am praying to you for this. But still, we do not pray I cannot pray like this. I have no idea about any of these verses, he was thinking. So he did Prikrama of Govardhan, and he began to pray to Govardhan so much. He did so much Dandavat Pranam. Finally, he said, my life is useless. I cannot perform any real bhakti. So then he jumped into Manasi Ganga, thinking, I will give up my body here. In my next life, I will take birth and be able to read the Goswami's books and do real bhajan. So everyone saw him enter. the lake and disappear because he put stones on himself, tied stones around his neck, and went into the river. But then 5-6 days later, they saw him walking out, alive and well, and holding so many different books in his arms. In this way, he came up out of the kund. Everyone became astonished. He received the mercy of Manasi Ganga. How? All the different ancient books of the Goswamis came to him, and he had direct realization of them all. He received all this knowledge. It all entered within him. And then he stayed at Chakleshwar Mahadev on the bank of Manasi Ganga and performed his bhajan there. In this way, he received the mercy of the British Devis. Do we have such eagerness as he had? Do we have such determination? Through this determination and eagerness, he became the object of the Lord's mercy and the Gopi's mercy. So if we receive Ekadasi Devi's mercy, then we'll be purified. And after, how can we become purified? What is the method? There is Nam Bhajan, but one is Shabda Brahma and what is Shabda Shamanya. One is pure name. It is described in Sastra. All our labor, all our work, all our sadhan will be useless. Like if we maintain a cow but have no calf, if she has no calf, then we will not get any milk. So if we do so much sadhan, we may have all these books but not study and follow them in our lives, then it's just like having a cow with no calf and no milk. We know everything but do not accept and follow it in our lives. Then what is the purpose of all of this? So where will this tendency come to us from? So Ekadasi Devi, she gives the transcendental tendency to the 11 senses, or Ekadash Indriya. And then we will get taste for studying Sastra, taste for service, taste for Harikatha, taste for studying the Goswami's books, and taste for taking shelter of the Gopis' lotus feet. We will develop this taste to enter the servitude of the Gopis. In that time we will not desire anything else. We will have no eagerness for anything else, for diamonds, for pearls, for gold, for wealth, for position. We will see these are only like specks of dust and dead stones. These are not even worthy to be on the feet of the Gopis. Aishwarya Satil Prem Nahi Mor Prita, that Krishna himself says, that those who are attached to opulence, they cannot please me, they cannot serve me. So we should try to be free of all these things. And this is possible by the shelter of Ekadashi. Then we can build the foundation on which we can construct the palace of Prem, or pure love. Goswamis teach all these things in their books. How we should perform sadhana, how we should develop our spiritual moods. So all the different limbs of pure devotion are established through Ekadashi's proper performance. We are very unfortunate, however, nowadays we have no time. Otherwise, on Ekadashi, what should be done? All the santas, the devotees, will assemble together in different groups in temples like Radha Damadar or Seva Kunj. Everyone would assemble, and all day and night there would be kirtan, and all night they would stay up and doing kirtan. They would study and read the Bhagavatam, and they would in this way be engaged day and night. Then this is real residence in Vrindavan. Why have we come to Vrindavan? Only to try to husk grain or do material work? Have we come only to maintain our bodies and do like business for this body? That God, He gives everything. But if we come here only thinking about our maintenance and these things, then this is wasting our time. What is the purpose of this life? Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur, in his time on Ekadashi, he would close the school, and all the students and all the different brahmacharis, everyone would sit in the temple and perform Hari Kirtan. Those in shelter of Srila Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur also. How do they follow these brats? All day they fast. They do not engage in any prajalpa, mundane gossip. All day they are absorbed in Kirtan, Harikatha, Parikrama, studying the books. If you have no taste for studying the Sabda Brahma, the transcendental sound present in the scriptures, then you cannot really progress. So if you follow Ekadashi, you will get taste to study the Gita, study the Bhagavatam, the Goswami's books, and for Sadhu Sangha. You will give your life for Sadhu Sangha. You will think, where can I go? How can I meet with the devotees? Where can I find this Brajaras? You will be ready to sacrifice everything, but I must achieve that. So we must develop this intense eagerness. And by the mercy of Ekadasi Devi, this is possible. This is her special mercy, or real mercy. Others, they do Ekadasi and they collect only material results. That is cheating only. Therefore it is said, Vanchitosmi, Vanchitosmi, Vanchitosmi. They are only cheated. Rupa Goswami states, therefore, Krishna Swaram Janam Chasya Tistan Braje Sannihitam Tat Kataratas Chaso Kuryat Vasam Braje Sada. There is the process to stay in Braj. If we receive the mercy of Kadashi, then we can perform Krishna Smaram, constant remembrance of Krishna. How can we do that? We must go where those personalities are who are constantly absorbed in thoughts of Shri Krishna and in service of Shri Krishna. By their association, naturally, we will learn this, and by the power of their association, then this will influence us as well, and we will become absorbed like them as well. Then we should stay in Braj like this. This is the greatest method of development in spiritual life. So today we pray to Ekadasi Devi, please, life after life we have wasted our time. Now, please give me eligibility to perform bhakti. Let me give up all ulterior desires, all worship of other personalities, all absorption in jnana and karma, fruit of activities, and the pursuit of knowledge. And let me only serve you, and let me understand what is aprakrita ras, transcendental divine love. And let me take shelter of the Goswami's books, otherwise our life passes uselessly. Kelo je divas nasi bawar ebe Krishna ki upai. Those days that have passed will never return. Therefore let us worship Shri Krishna. Those days, that time that passes, never returns. We are very easily wasting our time. Go and look in the hospitals how people are suffering, how much they are in pain. To see how much suffering there is in the species of animals. We are so lucky to be in Vrindavan. But if we waste this golden opportunity, absorbed in material pursuits, maintenance of our bodies, then we will not be free of anarthas. They will only increase. If we do not pray to the devotees, if we do not endeavor to search out satsanga, if we never serve the sadhus, if we never go to the temples, the Sat Devalayas, the 7 prominent temples of the Lord, then how we can be free of our nartas, those worthless things in our hearts, those material desires? By the mercy of the Guru Vaishnavas, I would see many sannyasis would come to Mathura. Day and night they would sit in satsangas. Srila Gurudev would be so humble. He would go to different places where there were assemblies of sadhus, and he would sit in a very humble position. And all day, for many, many hours, he would hear katha and kirtan. He would go to the different temples. Nowadays, these temples, they've sold so much land and made houses for their own profit. Before Radha Damodar, it was many, many acres. Before it was huge. Now almost everything has been sold. Sevakunj was also much larger, and Gokulananda, the other temples were much larger, and they had so much more land. So Gurudev would go to these temples and sit in the dust. If I would try to give him a seat, asana, he would become angry, and he would sit and hear katha. I remember that we went and we heard Ras Panchadhyay Harikatha. Gurudev was sitting in the dust. When the speaker saw that, Gurudev was an effulgent sannyasi, so he came up from his asan in the middle of his pravachan discourse, and he embraced Srila Gurudev, lifted him up, and brought him onto his Vyasa upraised platform. I saw how humble Srila Gurudev was, and how he would go to all the temples and hear Harikatha. Those speakers, they learned so many things from Srila Gurudev. Gurudev would even listen to his godbrother's disciples. When his godbrother's disciples would be giving Harikatha, Gurudev would sit quietly for hours listening to Harikatha. Can we find such an acharya like this in the present or the past or the future? It is very rare. When we have intense greed for Harikatha, then wherever Harikatha is going on, we will with great eagerness we will go there and hear. But where is our attachment and desire? We run from Harikatha, we run from Kirtan. But to speak of Harikatha, if there is any karma anywhere where we can make some money, we will run there. And day and night, what are we? We've come to Vrindavan. How much we have worked in this world, for how many lifetimes. But I see no one has taste for Harikatha, no one has taste for Harikatha and Kirtan, but they go for karma, for fruitive work. They have so much eagerness for this. Now, all day we are running this, and from morning to 10 p.m. we are working, and then we are very happy. But we have no taste for Kirtan Katha. We will not chant Harinam, we will not do Hari Kirtan, we will not do Hari Bhajan. Then what will we do? Oh, we will do material work and become like donkeys. And we will be always kicked by Maya. We never pray. We are such ignorant fools. Therefore, he said, Sangsar Bukar Kanina Basivo Duherug Durajabe. Bhaktivinoda Thakur prays, may the sounds of samsara never enter my ears. May I never hear these things. Kam Krodh Kiva Korite Pari Jadi Hoy Sadhu Janara Sangha. What can lust and anger do to us if we are in Sadhu Sangha? But we are cheating ourselves. We are not in Sadhu Sangha. We are very far away from the sadhus. So we should try to follow pure Ekadasi. Then everything will become favorable for our spiritual development. The whole world will become favorable for us. But we must endeavor. We must have read Ekbar Dekle Chakke Jal Gornitai Dhen Sakale Sambad Shraddhavan Jana He Shraddhavan Jan. Nityananda says, oh, just one time chant the names of Gaur Hari with faith. If just one tear falls from your eyes, then everything can be achieved. So in this way, endeavor to follow pure Ekadasi. Don't waste time, there's no gain in this. Day and night pray for Chit Anusilan or spiritual taste. Kamika Ekadasi ki jai.